Welcome.
Welcome.
Episode 63 for Gab and Jam.
All right.
And our topic today is musical artists who've had dramatic transformations.
Okay.
This one's near and dear to us because as an artist, sometimes as time progresses, there are opportunities for you to change your perspective, to, just reinterpret the world different ways at different times.
Right.
And then it may also be for commercial reasons.
But I think it's critically important for artists to stay, I think, one step ahead of, their audience.
Okay, what do you mean?
So because the thing that you don't want is for your audience to get bored with you.
Yeah.
Or for society to move past you, and then you're running to keep up with where society's going.
Okay.
Because then you stop being a leader.
Okay.
All of a sudden you become a follower, and in certain instances you basically become your audience.
Right.
And that's what the artist doesn't want to give up. The
And
artist wants to stay in that leadership role.
plus, that's what the fans want. To be honest, I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
That even if there is pushback, that people like a strong leader. The
They
reason
do.
why they're following you is because you're leading and you're doing it your way.
But they don't need it from you. So
What do you
meaning
mean?
that it doesn't have to come from you in particular. They will go get it from somebody else.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's sort of like with the election. It's like Donald Trump. It's the same type of thing.
What do you mean?
Like I was hearing this thing where I think it was James Corden was on Howard Stern's show. And he was talking about when he was on Broadway, he was doing this show, and Trump was in the audience, and they used him as a part of the show.
Oh.
And then after that, what they would normally do, because they did that for the show with just somebody in the audience anyway.
Okay.
Just so happened Trump was the person in the audience they decided to choose up.
Okay.
So at the end of the show, they always bring those people backstage. And he said that Donald Trump, when he was backstage, he was going, he went and shook every cast member's hand.
Oh,
and this is before he decided to become president.
Right.
And the people were saying he was shaking our hands like he was the president of the United States.
Oh, wow.
It was like, I'm shaking your hand because I know that it's important for you that I shake your hand. And so whether they even thought that, Trump automatically assumed that.
Wow.
And he said, I'm making your day by shaking your hand. And that's the attitude he did it
and
with.
That's
and
right.
that is really
quintessentially who he is, right?
That is quintessentially who he is, who his brand is, and what he does. And that's why he is the president of the United States to this day. So
he didn't really do a dramatic transformation. I guess and I know he's not on the.
No, his transformation was a transformation of a politician. He changed what a politician can do in order to be elected. He did not kowtow to the public. He made the public come to him.
But I was saying he also transformed from being basically what seemed like a Democrat to being a Republican, or being a liberal to being a conservative.
Yes, he did.
So he did do that pivot, and that's pretty dramatic because, and I know this is not music related, but
it is related to what we're talking about.
Earlier on were making, songs about Donald Trump being president, because they thought he was going to be a president for rappers, for black folks, for that type of culture,
or that's Donald Trump. Period. I mean, he was really
the symbol.
Right. He became really a big symbol of hip hop music, black music. I mean, the Prince in the time, Donald Trump black version. Donald Trump was that. Yeah. He was that name.
So his transformation wasn't so much physical, but it was in his messaging, because he chose a different side.
He did, but throughout, he's always been the quintessential American.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about you can own everything, you can be whatever you want to be. That's been quintessentially Trump's brand. But kind of going back to our point. Let's go back to artists who make these transformations.
Okay, so we have a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll save
and I'm going to add another one on the list, but go ahead.
Okay, I was trying to say that last one for the Big Bang.
No, but I'm saying I got another
Okay, good.
Okay.
All right, so the first one I noticed right away was Pink. because when she started doing hip hop R&B.
Right.
Was her first hit, and I just knew that that's who she was. She's gonna be doing a bunch of runs and doing R&B songs, and I think that never really was who she was. I think it was more of a commercial thing because after she turned to rock, she has not gone back.
No, she has, and part of it too is that I think for her, it's good that was who she was, because I don't think she would have had as long of a career if she had gone down that road.
She kept trying to.
Right, just being this hip hop kind of.
White person.
That just don't seem like it was happening. It didn't necessarily happen. It had already been out there with Christina Aguilera in a way. Yeah. And so, you kind of already had her in that spot. And so to have Pink kind of go down that same road, I don't think she could have done Christina Aguilera better than Christina Aguilera was.
Plus, if she didn't have any passion for it, then that was
that part to it. But to me, it's just one of those things that just gets crowded. It's like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. It's like Cardi B became the new and improved Nicki Minaj. She kind of
pushed Nicki Minaj out of her spot.
She did. She pushed her out of her spot. I'm not saying that she's a complete clone of Nicki Minaj. Right. But it seems like she became that evolutionary step that we're talking about. Yeah. So, she became the transformation that maybe Nicki Minaj should have made. And she became that new incarnation. Yeah. Whereas Pink, transformed herself and was able to kind of get into that spot. Another person that did that too, and I don't think she's on the list, is Rihanna.
Yeah.
Rihanna, Pon De La Play and all the rest of that kind of stuff that she started off as. She was just going to be this dance hall queen. Yeah. And then she did Umbrella and all the rest of those type of songs, Shut Up and Drive. And
then she did the Thug Life type stuff.
Right.
And so then she tried to do the country thing.
But still, it's the thing where it took Rihanna from, just being this very pigeonhole type artist to a
not very
genre.
Interesting, right?
Right. They're not interesting, not charismatic, none of that stuff. Because I didn't see that stuff when I saw her first video. Yeah. I didn't see the person that we see now. Yeah. This person that's very self-assured, very charismatic, and when she's doing music and things like that. Now, her acting, but anyway.
It's another topic.
Right, completely. But, as far as an artist, I think she's another person we could throw in there, too.
Yeah, cool. And then Katy Perry was one of the big ones for me. Yeah. Because she started out, I guess, she wasn't as well known as a Christian artist.
Right.
And then, of course, she completely, I Kissed a Girl was her first, I think, big more secular, whatever, music. And that's a complete 180.
Yeah.
From a Christian artist. So.
Yeah, and Lana Del Ray is yet another one. They started off as a completely different artist, changed her name to not Lana Del Ray, and she became this new person as Lana Del Rey. So it kind of, to me, I juxtapose them together because,
that makes sense.
And another one is Alanis Morrisette. So Alanis Morrisette had started off as this pop teen type artist in Canada. Right?
Oh, wow.
And then, she flips the script. She signs with Maverick.
Oh, wow.
She gets with Glenn Ballard. Right. And, she comes out, Jagged Little Pill. And now she just symbolizes this female angst against the system and almost became like that prelude for the Me Too and the Me Too movement later down the road, because you're right, Avril Lavigne and the rest of those. But to me, that kind of flips the switch on that thing. So she's yet another one that I kind of would throw in that same ballpark.
And of course, Prince was an early one for me, and that was when I was, young, when he started out with the For You album. I hadn't heard that one. Right. But, I started with the Prince album with my listening to Prince. But then when I heard Dirty Mind, it was like somebody had shaken me. It's like, who is this? Like, it was a completely different feel, different ideas. He wasn't sweet and abused. He was, the man and not the one that's just waiting for the girl and all that. So, just a different. Yeah.
It's so weird for me. It's like in the moment, I didn't think much of it.
Really?
And the reason why is because it was, at the time, Prince had done like Bambi. He had done stuff that was kind of rock oriented and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I guess for me, my mentality was always Stanley Clarke. So when I heard the kind of riff on I Want to Be Your Lover, it kind of put me in the mind of Stanley Clarke. And then when I heard that riff on When You Were Mine, it put me in the mind of Stanley Clarke and what he was doing as far as mixing all this stuff together. To me, it was just where my head was at. And so, and then the new wave with that, it seemed like a logical place for him to go. That's me
it probably
thinking in the moment, but retrospectively, it was a sea change. From what he was.
We experienced that completely differently then, because it was just his look. I mean, he started off on the horse looking like an angel, and then he comes looking like
the hair is down to he completely changed the look. I mean, it was a drastic change. It's like looking back retrospective, and that was a pivotal move for his career because that was the album that said, okay, Prince is a genre within himself. And that second album, the first album, basically established him as a bubblegum kind of R&B artist, a throwaway R&B artist. And then all of a sudden he does this. And it's like, this is an artist who needs to be reckoned with. He goes on, he does Saturday Night Live, does Party Up There. He catches the eye of the Rolling Stones. They take him on the tour. It was a disaster for him, but still, it was something where he was recognized as a serious artist and not just an R&B artist. So
that was a pivotal transformation, but it was a really big one. That's an early one that I remember. And then of course Janet Jackson. I mean, I can't say enough about how she flourished from being, again, seemed like it was just a throwaway. Oh, Penny from Good Times. Oh, Michael Jackson's little sister is making a record. Isn't that cute?
Two records.
Isn't that cute? And then, of course, once Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis got with her, and I mean, the rest is history. She's a person, a star unto herself. So.
Completely. I think people can completely dismiss the first two records. Like the one, I think the first single off the Janet Jackson record was a record called Young Love that she actually performed on American Bandstand. And they had one of my favorites on there, which is Come Give Your Love to Me, which is still one of my favorite songs. It was a very new wave-ish type of thing. And again, this is where my mindset was during that period of time. I love that kind of stuff. And, Jermaine Jackson did Tickle Your Fancy. It's a kind of similar type of feel to that. And then she did Dream Street after that, which was produced by her brother Marlon Jackson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Marlon, and he had that one song, You Can't Stand Another Chance.
I remember that.
Had that one on there, which probably was a marginal R&B hit. But you're right. After Control comes out, Control is this bomb that's dropped. And
who is this person?
I don't think people who even became Janet Jackson fans realized she had two albums out before that. They think that that's her first album was Control. And you're right. And from there, that is the Janet Jackson that got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's the Janet Jackson that became a songwriter, that truly became an artist with a vision and a purpose. So I agree.
So that was a cool one. And then of course, one of the more controversial ones is Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
Going from the bubblegum Hannah Montana, Disney queen, to being twerking girl. I mean, she's made twerking popular worldwide now for everybody.
And kudos to her. And I say that because it's like, that's not an easy transition to make.
That's not. And people keep trying to make that one.
Artists struggle with that. Justin Bieber was the same thing. He struggled to kind of make that transition. I mean, he was able to do it. And so she definitely did that. She had to basically destroy within your mind that vision of Hannah Montana. Which was it's one of those typecast roles, you know. I mean, you hear the stories about like the first Superman that was like in black and white that was on television. That the guy got typecast, he could never get cast again. He killed himself.
Suicide,
I mean, how many times have we heard this kind of stuff? You know, nobody wants to hire Bob Denver again. You know, he was Gilligan, so you know when he was up for that starring role in To Kill a Mockingbird, they said, "Oh no, we can't think of it without Gilligan." Or you know, when he was up for that role in The Heat of the Night, you know, and it's like. Yeah, but it's Bob Denver. We can't cast him. Now, I don't know if he was ever up for those roles. I'm just making that stuff up.
I was about to say, you sounded so authoritative. Okay.
But that's just to say that typecasting is a real thing. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
And when people are able to kind of blow up that image in your head and forge something else for themselves.
Right.
I mean, you gotta give them credit for it.
Yeah,
so,
that's pretty amazing.
You know, her with the Wrecking Ball song and some of the other stuff that she's come out with. The thing I'll say for her is that she can sing. Yeah. You know, the thing that she's supposed to be able to do, she can do. Yeah. You know, and so, and I mean, she can sing. She's writing the songs, allegedly. So, I mean, and look, I'm not just picking on her. I say it about everyone. Right. You know, you always got to say allegedly. I mean, but yeah, so kudos to her.
And Taylor Swift was the next one.
Yeah, she evolve from country.
Yes.
Country over to being a pop star.
Yeah. And so that was a pretty dramatic. And also with her leaving country, she also her politics because the country side now with everything being polarized typically is more conservative. Right. And now with she's definitely anti-Trump. So
yeah, and she'd come out and say it.
Right.
So, you know, you got to give Taylor Swift credit for that part of it, too. I mean, because she does do that. And she's definitely become this huge artist who has transcended what she started off
as a little girl with a guitar.
Right, so, I mean, So, I mean, you know, again, big ups and kudos to Taylor Swift because, you know, she's like the queen of her own universe now. So, you know... I can't diss on that.
Who were you going to add? Because I wanted to save the one big one for last.
Well, hey, you don't get bigger than them. So let's go on to this one here. Then I'll just add it.
Okay, all right. So Michael Jackson was my big bomb at the end because he had changed from with the little kids singing with the Jackson 5.
Right.
And then he became teen pop, on his own. Right. Well... Yeah, on his own. Then with his brothers as the Jacksons.
Right. Yeah, but the thing was, for Michael went from being, I would say like with the Jackson 5, it seemed like it would have been like the pinnacle because you start getting into that realm where you're breaking Beatle records. Right. And so, I mean, that was like, those first 3 singles, I Want You Back, ABC, I'll Be There from the Jackson 5. Was just the pinnacle. And then they kind of had this slump with Motown. Okay. Especially when his voice was changing. They didn't really quite know what to do with him. Right. And the demographic was getting older. Yeah. And so they were kind of listening to other stuff. And artists were starting to write their own music. And things were getting a lot more serious then. And then the disco era kind of took off. And then right after that, they left Motown and they went to CBS Records. And then...
that's when they were the Jacksons.
That's when they were the Jacksons because they couldn't take the name Jackson 5. Motown owned that. So they go over to CBS Records. They make some records with Gamble and Huff. And they had that first Jacksons record. And then they had Going Places after that. And then it was their... third album with CBS, Destiny, where they actually got a chance to start producing their own stuff. Okay, yeah. Right, and that's where, Shake Your Body Down to the Ground came out. And still, I mean, I think they were still more of an R&B phenomenon. Matter of fact, it was like, the thing was with the Jacksons, when they were signed by CBS, they were like, because they were playing Vegas then. Oh, they were they were like doing residency at the MGM, and you guys don't like in the 70s, Vegas was something for Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack. Elvis was there when he passed. He was at the Hilton all the time. And so, I mean, it was a place for rock stars to die. Yeah, you go there and die. That's terrible. It wasn't a place when you were up and coming. You know what I mean? It wasn't that. No. I think Joe Jackson, remember when Vegas was like a star making machine, but it wasn't that during that point in the 70s.
Yeah.
So CBS was reluctant to sign them and thought they were a joke act. Wow. You know, and so the fact that they did sign them, and then it was the Michael still wanted to do his own thing. Yeah. And that's when he worked on The Wiz. Worked on The Wiz with Quincy Jones. Right. And Quincy Jones was so enamored with his work ethic. Yeah. You know, and you guys need to see that Netflix documentary on Quincy Jones.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Really, really good. And so that's how him and Michael hooked up and worked on Off the Wall. And that is when the transformation really took place.
But I mean, all of those incarnations that led to that. Yeah. So, I mean, he has pivoted multiple times.
Yes.
He had really a chance to
flourish his whole career. Yeah. He definitely did that. And, you know, culminating with like the pinnacle of Thriller. Yeah. You know, but yeah. And so for me, the big one is the Beatles. Because the Beatles went from being these lovable mop tops doing She Loves You to doing Eleanor Rigby with just a string quartet and Paul McCartney's voice. Yeah. And, you know, that whole Revolver album with songs like Tomorrow Never Knows and I Am the Walrus and Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds and talking about I Get High with a little help from my friends on Sgt. Pepper. I mean, what the Beatles went through, they just really just chronicled and just went right along with where the 60s was going. Yeah,
that's true.
Throughout, and it was just fitting that they broke up. Yeah. At the end of the 60s. You know, and they were only around for such a short period of time. I mean, the Beatles were from like 63 to, you know, 1970 for like 7 years. Wow. That's it. Wow. And what they did and how much they evolved. I mean, just think about She Loved You and Something in the Way She Moves. Yeah. And how far they are, or a Revolution. You know, what I Want to Hold Your Hand. Yeah. That these are the same people writing these songs. Or, you know, the way Let It Be sounds. And, you know, Hey Jude, along with these other, Please Please Me. It's completely different. And I mean, they had these long beards.
Right. They went from all of the suits matching and the matching haircuts and looking all clean cut to looking all kinds of.
Completely. I mean, so they really kind of, I think, set the tone for how artists were going to, you know, write their own songs, manage kind of their own appearance and their worldview, and then how artists can evolve. You know, and that's, you know, that, so to me, and I'm pretty sure the people who are watching have.
I was about to say there are tons of others that we could have included, but those were the ones that really stood out for us. But who do you think should be added to the list? Right. Who has done a pretty dramatic creative transformation, maybe visually, maybe sound, the whole, however you can imagine it? Drop them in the links below. We'd love to hear what you have to say. We'd love to explore maybe even some people we haven't heard of.
Right, yeah. If you can just point them out to us,
let
us know.
To see over the time to see what their career has done.
Because just think about that. I think about that with the Police. It was the same way. I mean, they started off with Roxanne. They ended up with stuff like Synchronicity and Every Breath You Take. I mean, that...
I was thinking about YouTube, too. I forgot about
them. They've done so many great transformations. I mean, but just thinking about the whole difference between those records. Yeah,
it's amazing when you know, they can have the same success or more after they transform as they had before. So again, let us know. Drop it in the comments below. If you like a variety of different types of music like we do, join our Funky Happy People Facebook group. We'd love to have more people. We'd love to have you share some of your favorite songs, some YouTube selections onto the page. Or if you make a variety of music and you want to share and connect with other people, join the Facebook group, Be the Next DIY Rockstar. Yeah. What's coming up next?
So in about 2 weeks, we'll be going to Gear Fest. Yeah. And, you know, this is where we'll be seeing gear like this magnificent Fodera.
This is a non-sponsored post. Sadly.
Great bass.
Yeah.
Excellent bass. I love it.
So we'll be at Gear Fest. I think we've already had a few people, you know, who plan to hang out with us. And then we're going to
London.
We're going to London.
Yeah, in August.
Yes.
So, and we're always looking for great stuff. So, you know, if you can find some great boots, like these here. You know, or just great places that we can shop to get some funky clothes.
Yeah, we're probably
looking to do that. You know?
We'll probably do an episode on that too, because we want to hear if you have suggestions for places for us to check out.
Yeah, go check out. Get some nice glasses. I got these from when we went to Austin.
Oh yeah.
South by Southwest. Yeah. I got these. I forgot the name of the little place, but
it was Stars in Your Eyes.
Stars in Your Eyes. Yeah. There it is. So yeah, there was a great place, and I picked up some glasses there. So we're always looking for something.
Yeah, for something that expresses this rock star attitude.
Right. Anything that brings the Prejippie out of me, I'm always looking for. So. Yeah.
All right, and we can't say it enough. We need you to subscribe so that we can share things with you, so that we can inspire you. Because when we inspire you, you inspire us. It's a natural flow. It's a beautiful circle.
Yes.
So if you dig the vibe, make sure you
subscribe. And
as always, we're wishing you love, peace, and
some peppermint grease. Chicken grease. All right, go on.
All right, bye-bye.